Greetings, God bless, and welcome back. So, I don't know if anybody else has wondered about why certain people are, let's say, more into considering the issue of freedom and justice in the classic uh, way rather than a politically correct, uh, um, Marxist way, so to speak. So, uh, and then with the past couple years, it seems like there's 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 like this that's just people have self-selected. Some folks are into what's been going on the past couple years. They don't want it to end. Their identity is very invested. We're for millennia, we have lived uh, this human existence and socializing and getting fresh air and being in sunlight and just um, being human. And so there's these two kind of groups, and there's a silent groups that I think is more what have we done historically. uh, and so I'm listening to this audiobook about play by Stuart Brown, and Stuart Brown, and he has a co-author. So Stuart Brown is kind of the expert. I can't remember when his book came out. Was it like in the 2000s? But he's talking about how when people I'm listening to the first chapter, and when people grew up um, working with their hands, like as a kid, they would take apart a clock, or they were doing something manual, like with their hands, and that frequent uh, exercise helped them have better problem solving um, later on as an adult. And I'm translating that into discernment. And so when I look at the people in my life that are very attached to the past couple years, and they 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 take it as a heroic accomplishment that they've gone through. And then when I look at the people who are like interested in being a part, like they still want to be human beings, and um, you know, like what why we're all living to just have our own uh, peace and freedom and individual lives rather than be part of this collective culture. And so with that, because I have been racking my brain, like why. I mean, I was asking this even before the lockdowns. I'm like, why are some people aware that there's something that's not been right for a while? And I would say, even before 2001, I would say 2000. I don't know if it was like 1G being activated, but I noticed for me in 2000, my thinking began to not be that great. Not that it was like the best or whatever, but I was able to focus more. And of course, in 2002, I was exposed to Lyme, and so that's like, I won't go into that. But so this idea, I wanted to like leave a message for Matthias Desmond, who wrote that book about totalitarianism, and there's probably a couple other people I'd like to ask, like experts on this topic. But what do you think? Like, are you somebody who from a young age, worked with your hands, so that helped you kind of just understand how things work and have the capacity to troubleshoot in a practical way. Because when I look at the most staunch supporters of the narrative and this collective cult, is they were more. Um, I mean, it's not a huge group, so that's why I'm asking. But like they were more sheltered, and they weren't having to work and like help their parents do their job. Um, like their parents were white collar workers, and yeah, the like my friends, they worked as a cashier as a teenager or something like that, but it wasn't like more elaborate manual labor and for a longer amount of time. So I'm wondering if uh, people who have experience from a young age with manual labor, or kind of almost, I mean, I wonder, are you able to see um, like consequences, like cause and effect more when you're dealing with things, as opposed to somebody who's like just dealing with spreadsheets, or somebody who's just dealing with paperwork, and the culture that is is that the white collar, like you know I mean I did work in offices, and it's just everybody's just kind of friendly enough. They're there for their paycheck. It's not a real passion. And I mean, work in entry level doing manual labor, that's not necessarily a passion either. But I would say that people who are doing entry level jobs, whether it's the cashier at the store, or at the gas station, or the donut shop, or the coffee shop, or the bus driver, those are the people that are really running things. Those are the people that are really contributing. When I was working in offices, it was just like contributing to some Fortune 500 company that I think just needed warm bodies there. I mean, yeah, I was putting stuff in the database or whatever, but it wasn't really helping the people who, I guess, who were like me. I mean, that's the interesting thing about the pizza place or the coffee, whatever, is